The Ukrainian army says it's accomplished a successful counter-offensive against Russian forces in Kharkiv, pushing them back over the border. In a video released by Kyiv, Ukrainian soldiers are seen celebrating a victory over the invading army just beside a blue and yellow border post. President Volodymyr Zelenskyy sent a personal message to the troops, thanking them on behalf of the country. The symbolic moment comes as Western intelligence agencies say Russia's offensive in the Donbas region is beginning to stall. Well, with us to talk more about the situation on the ground is our correspondent Sasha Vakulina. Sasha, Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, back under Ukrainian control. How significant are these successes that Ukraine has been having in the area?
They're very significant and for different reasons. First of all, of course, as you said, the second largest city in Ukraine, the city that has been under attack and under heavy shelling since the very early days of this invasion and this war. And now seeing the pictures of Ukrainian defenders being able to push back towards the border and reaching that border is, of course, very significant. According to the senior U.S. defense official, he also said that Ukrainian forces pushed back Russian troops to within 3 to 4 kilometers of the Russian border. Now, I have to say that Kharkiv region itself has quite a long border with Russia, so there is still lots of defense and lots of counteroffensive for the Ukrainian soldiers to do that. And yet this is very important also because this way Ukrainian defenders and Ukrainian troops, they managed to push Russian forces out of the artillery range. And we have seen Kharkiv being under really heavy shelling over the past couple of weeks. This is supposed to be less of shelling, or it's supposed to stop now.
So there have been several Ukrainian advances now. Of course, Russian withdrawal from Kyiv and the area around it and the north. Now Kharkiv, no major Russian successes. How is all this affecting Moscow's plans?
Well, we have heard different plans over the past couple of weeks, right? Initially, it was about whole territory of Ukraine. Then in the very first days, we have also heard about Kyiv, the capital, places around Kyiv, the area. Then it was Kharkiv, then it was Sumy, Chernihiv, northern Ukraine. And then a couple of weeks ago, we have heard that this is the second phase of the invasion, which will be the battle for Donbas. And there, exactly as you said, Russian troops did not make any significant progress here. And there could be some reasons behind that, as according to the Institute for the Study of War, Russia has likely run out of combat-ready reserve forces, forcing the military command to gather soldiers from different units. Now, the UK Defence Ministry, in its intelligence update, also confirmed that information, saying a message in line with that one, saying that it estimates that Russia has lost about a third of its combat troops. Now, what now? So the battle for Donbas was supposed to be for two geographic administrative regions, the so-called Donbas. This is Donetsk region and Luhansk region. As of now, it looks like Russian forces are focusing only on Luhansk region, which is, of course, still a huge and very important region of Ukraine, but is yet a much smaller territory. And also, most of that territory has been under Russian troops' control already. So when it comes to the moves, how they're trying to advance new territories to gain, this is not that much, Alistair.
Interesting. Sasha, thanks very much. Sasha Vakulina. Well, meanwhile, Russia is continuing its attacks on the south. Missiles struck the Black Sea port city of Odessa, injuring a child and 2 adults. Well, joining us from Odessa is our international correspondent, Annalise Borges. Annalise, thanks for joining us there. First of all, what can you tell us more about that Russian airstrike that hit the city today?
Oh, Alistair, we understand that at least 4 people were injured, and that child is said to be in critical condition after a missile struck some 50 kilometers to the south of where I'm standing. Authorities within Ukraine's Southern Military Command kept the area off limits to journalists for most of the day, while emergency responders put out a fire that broke out after that missile struck. But we understand that yet another hotel building was hit. That is an area that is very popular with tourists here. Is a beach town resort area, very, very famous for its holiday destinations and nice hotels. And that area was hit several times over the last few weeks. In fact, this is the 5th such strike in recent weeks. We were there yesterday and we spoke to some of the residents of that area. We saw the damage inflicted in a hotel infrastructure, in fact, a hotel complex that was almost completely destroyed. And as we were speaking to people there, they said that they are in a constant state of shock, Alistair. They say that not only war has gotten that close to them, they're also very much struggling to survive. These are people whose livelihoods depend on tourism, and they are now, instead of preparing for summer and preparing for the arrival of tourists, they are actually clearing up rubble and hoping that the next rocket doesn't fall on them.
Now, you've been meeting with Ukrainian fighters and foreign fighters on the front line. What's the feeling amongst the troops as the war now enters its fourth month?
Well, the soldiers we've been speaking to are in high spirits. I mean, some of them are tired, as you said. It's been almost 3 months, but most of them are determined to continue fighting for as long as it takes and are adamant that victory will be theirs. And that is quite inspiring to some of the foreigners who have, as you said, joined the fight. For example, we met a volunteer, Ben, that's how he asked to be called. He's from Germany. He drove some 2,000 kilometers to be here. Ben has experience in combat. He was in the German military for 10 years, and he came here to help distribute aid, but also to help train some of the Ukrainian troops who didn't have enough experience to go to the battlefield. I asked Ben just how he thought they are faring, these Ukrainian soldiers, and this is what he had to say.
The Ukrainian army against the Russian army, it's the whole Ukrainian country against the Russian army, and that is a big thing. And a lot of them are well trained, but they are on the battlefield. But the units who are staying here, a lot of them are volunteers, old men, young women from all over the world. You see people here, not also from the US, from France, from every country. People come here and try their best. People with good combat experience, people without combat experience, they come and help. And that is a thing that no one could imagine before.
So Ben is one among several foreigners we've been meeting over the last few days. We also met an American citizen, a British citizen, who have all decided to come to Ukraine spontaneously. Some of them are enlisted. Others are simply helping out with aid distribution or helping transfer aid to some of the other parts of the front lines. Most of them say that they are going to be staying here for as long as it takes, that they couldn't stay back home, sit and watch as this historical moment for Europe, this crucial moment for the future of Europe, unveiled.